Hello everybody, Dylan here, and today we are going to be reading a Crappypasta because you guys said you wanted more of these. Today's Crappypasta is called Sonic Has Fallen. What a very appropriate title. So let's get into reading this today on DHT. To start off with, if you read this, I don't know what I should do. Well, maybe you should start telling the story instead of improving right here. Give me a moment to explain myself. My name is Joshua. I'm 13 years old. That explains yourself entirely, and now I'm having a lot of doubts about this story. No offense to any 13-year-old writers we might have out there. I'm 13 years old, and this past weekend I went to GameStop to get a game for my Sega CD. Well, first of all, if you're going to get a game for the Sega CD, GameStop wouldn't be the place to go. I don't know about your GameStops, but mine packs recent titles. You would go to an older game store to get Sega CD titles, but whatever. I tried 2 stores, but none actually had any. What a fucking shock, because you're going to GameStops for retro games. I thought this to be normal since it's a relatively old console. Then why are you going to GameStops to try to... I don't even care anymore. But on my 3rd store attempt, I found, you forgot a D there, a Sonic game that I had played once or twice as a kid, but didn't remember much of. He doesn't give a title to this Sonic game, so I can't call him out on his bullshit when it's nothing like the game actually is. Or what even console it's for. Lovely! I went over to the checkout, got back on my bike, and went back home. I'm gonna assume that he also paid for it and just forgot to put that in the story, because I wouldn't want to assume that he's stealing. I put in the cartridge and started up the game. Once it started up, the display screen was a bit off because the text that said the year was missing. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that this is a Game Gear game because you mentioned a display screen. Because you're looking for an old Sonic game, I'm not gonna assume it's a Game Boy. So you can tell me later if I'm wrong, if you ever do end up reading this. Next time, say what console it is, say what game it is so I don't have to guess. I thought it was just a small glitch. When I got the game, it was pre-owned, so I thought that over constant use there was bound to be some complications. If you got it from a GameStop, they should fix that, so that shouldn't be a problem. I carried on and started playing the game. That's when I noticed the counter was off. It kept presenting me with the number 5 when I had no extra lives. If it's off and only shows you number 5, how would you ever know when you run out of lives unless you carefully count it? And that would be stupid. But because you're a creepypasta writer, I'll assume you did that. Just to be sure that everything was okay, I saved my file. So I assumed that this was a Game Gear game, but somehow you're saving a file, so it's Sonic 3, the only Sonic game for classic consoles that had a save feature? What are you playing this on, the Sega Nomad? Or are you playing this on the DS? I don't get what you're playing. What game are you playing and what console are you playing it on? This is a bigger deal than what you know, author. Then we came back to the title screen with the numbers there this time. I felt better. At least that was fixed. Yeah, because the date in which this game that I have no idea what it is really important to the story. So I went on with the game as usual and got the bonus level. Oh yeah, that really determines what game this is that you can find in Sonic CD. Are you saying you're playing Sonic CD on a handheld? Or I don't get what the fuck are you playing? Which is usually crazy with colors and littered with rings, but this time instead of bright colors, it was bitch. Oh my god. Oh my god, he meant to say pitch, but instead he made the best typo ever. Instead of bright colors, it was bitch black, and instead of rings, it was just empty space. A lot of bitch black there. Then Sonic made the animation that he does when he's going back into a level that didn't appear. Wait, what? I don't even get what you're trying to say there, author. It just kept doing the same animation over and over again. After 10 times of the same animation, I turned off the console. Lovely spelling you have there. It's really showing how well this story's written. I called for my daddy to come see what was happening. I started up the system again. This time everything was normal. The title screen flashed. The game played normal. It was fine. Then my dad left the room, probably thinking I was crazy, because you are. After the ordeal, I thought to myself that I was just being paranoid. Yeah, you're being paranoid when you imagine the game barely messing up. But then I got the bonus stage again. This time it was the exact same as last time. What a shock. The dark, empty void, the pitch black background. Well, you spelled pitch right this time, so that's a step in the right direction. All the same, after a bit, Sonic got out of the bonus stage. When he did, he was halfway through the falling animation, when on the screen showed in bold letters, Sonic has fallen. Oh, how that can be used way out of context today. Then made the sound of what I thought to be Sonic screaming, as if he were falling off of a cliff. Very detailed. I'm shocked you know what that would sound like. The game froze and turned off. I went to the GameStop, which shouldn't be selling this to begin with. I had gotten the game from and asked the clerk what was up with the game, like he would know. He said he didn't know. What a shock. I called it what I was asking about. When I tried to explain what had happened, I then told him to play the game for himself. When he did, nothing went wrong. The game played absolutely perfect until the bonus stage where things went wrong, so I'm a fucking liar. When he got it, instead of Sonic going through the stage as usual, it was the exact same as what I had experienced, text and all. He then told me there was no refunds and shooed me out of the store. Well, at least he kept that right, of them fucking you over and making you keep the haunted game. I went home and got on the computer and I got on the computer and looking up Sonic Has Fallen. Oh, he meant to put tried. Some help with this. Please, if anyone has any advice, comment. I also hope this doesn't happen to anyone else. I'm putting it away in my dresser. Credit to myself, which I'm assuming is actually Tom. You want some comments? I'll give you some comments. First of all, spell check. If it wasn't for the spell checking, this story wouldn't be that bad, but then again, it wouldn't be hilarious either. I wouldn't get bitch black, which is the best example of your poor spelling. Another thing I'd say is be more detailed. I know that this story is really short because you didn't give details. I have no idea what game you were playing or what console it was for. That's a major problem when I'm trying to get immersed into this story. Another thing is your story is really generic and uses a lot of regular tropes. I'll give you this. There was no blood. There was no hyper-realistic blood. The game didn't break the fourth wall. It was rather calm and self-contained. But that doesn't change the fact that it was shit. So I would say improve these features, make it a little bit longer, and then maybe it'd be a half-decent story. I like the premise of this story, and it's not as shit as the ones that I've read before, but it still needs a lot of work. Try to improve on that. If you like the video, then hit the like button. If you really like the video, then hit the share button. And if you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. I made this video for you guys because you wanted to see more Crappypastas. If you have any Crappypasta you'd want me to read, put it down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.